Hello, you're welcome back to Project Management Demystified. We're on our Agile Project Management series focusing on the role of a Scrum Master. This is episode 12 of that series, and in this episode, I'll continue on some of the metrics that I was speaking about before I went into blockers and impediments. So I spoke about predictability. So predictability is just as the word implies, being able to know what a team can reasonably do in a given period. So according to Skilled Agile Framework, there is a way that you can try to, so you can get predictability metrics in so many different ways. But one other way that you can get that is by using something called business value. So as a team, so it could be a small team, Scrum team, or it could be an Agile release train, and it could be multiple release trains within I think is a solution train that's called. And you want to know what your predictability is. So it's usually, predictability is in percentage. So if your predictability is 70%, it means that 70% of the time you're doing what you said you'll be doing. If it's 100%, which hardly happens, then you're doing what you said you'll be doing all of the time. So I mentioned business value. So business value is just an arbitrary number. It's a number that the team will come up with. So with the product management team and the Agile release train or the Scrum team, you come together maybe as part of your sprint planning or PI planning increment, PI. You come up with these numbers. So say you have PI goals or objectives, PI objectives of, maybe you have 7 PI objectives, for instance. So that the calculation will be easy. So you have 10 PI objectives. So there are 10 objective or value that you want to deliver to customers in the PI in 3 months usually. And so you will give a business value to each of those objectives. So 10 PI objectives. So let's say one objective is, let's use our chocolate example. One objective is to get 10% more customers to eat our chocolates. Another objective. So these objectives should be smart, should be specific, measurable, etc., achievable, realistic, and time bound. So in the next quarter, we want to get 10% increase in the number of people that eat our chocolates. That's one objective. Another objective. So it just depends. The objectives, 10 of them. So objective 1, what do we think will be the value of having customers eating more of our chocolates? So the business value will be a number between 1 and 10. So highest value 10, lowest value 1. And it's not really priority. It is the outcome of the work that you're doing. So you will still do the work the way you're supposed to do them, because some work are dependent on another. So you're not using dependency to arrive at the business value. So the business value is, what is the value of the outcome of that goal or of that objective. So 10 values, 10 objectives, and let's say the first one is 10, the second one is, and the rest is 5. So let's say the first 2 is 10, just as an example, but the team will come together, have a conversation to say, what do we think this business value should be? So let's say the first 2 are 10 each, that's 20, and the next 8 is 5 each. 5 times 8 is 40. So that's 40, that's 60. and then there are 10. So the business value then is the predictability would then be 60%. So 60 over 100, because although that's not how it's calculated, I just use that as an example because the predictability would be more around planned value versus actual value. So you've planned to do, so let's just say all the business values are 10 each, which is not usually ideal. The business value should vary across the objectives. Let's say the planned business values are 10 each, but the actual business values are 5 each. So that means we planned 100% and we're getting 50%. So the predictability is 50%. Does that make sense? Yeah, I've gone into mathematics there, but the role of the Scrum Master in that situation would be more to facilitate thoughts around with the teams on what the business value should be. So one person can say the business value, they think the business value should be 8. The Scrum Master should find a way to challenge the team to kind of share their thoughts around why they think is an 8. So one person says it's 8, one person says it's 2. Why is it 8? Why is it 2? So facilitating that conversation could bring the team to a compromise. Not a compromise per se, to bring the team to an agreement to say, oh, okay, I was thinking about it this way, but based on what you've explained, I think, okay, this can now be a 5, or this should actually be a 10, not a 2, or not an 8. So it's a conversation that is more important rather than the number. But I know that as human beings, we like numbers. We like things that we can measure. A lot of the things we do is not measurable. Just focus on adding value to customers. Let me leave it there for today, and then I'll see you on the other side. Please ask questions if this is not clear. Tell me topics that you want us to cover, and I can try to elaborate on them. Cheers. Bye-bye.